Okay, we'll call this meeting to order of the Committee of the Whole Council, Tuesday, July 8th, 2025 at 6:07 p.m. This will be an open meeting and notice has been given to the public at least 24 hours prior to the meeting by forwarding the complete agenda to the Oconto County Reporter and all other news medias who have requested the same, as well as by posting. Copies of the complete agenda were available for inspection at the office of the City Administrator. Roll call.
Mayor Cliff Martin.
Here.
Daryl Anderson.
Here.
Kim Bronikowski. Here. Ron Dahl.
Here.
Dee Donlevy.
Here.
Bob LeBrecq is excused. Casey Soul.
Here.
Lori Stenstrup.
Here.
Dan Zeller.
Here.
Attorney Calvert.
Here.
Okay, moving on to number 3. Could I get a motion to approve the agenda as stated?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Go ahead.
Sorry, Dan. I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried to approve the agenda as stated. Moving on to number 4, approval of call minutes from 6:10:25. Any discrepancies, corrections?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second. Lori.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried to approve the call minutes from 6:10:25. Okay, moving on to number 5, public input. Riley.
Riley Soul, 1240 McDonald Street. Hello again, everybody. I know I prepared a few words. I just got to get off my chest regarding this liquor license that we're here for today. So I'm here today with my wife Anita, who has applied for a liquor license for our business, Oconto Riviera. Let me explain exactly why we're here and why now. As you know, we have an outdoor wedding venue. It was established in 2022, and after nearly 2 years, we got our conditional use permit finalized in February of 2023. 10 months later, Wisconsin passed Act 73, and Anita just handed out some copies from the Department of Revenue on common questions regarding Wisconsin Act 73. So the first few points, I'll just kind of brief you on them, the pertinent ones. Basically, number 1 talks about how this new law essentially forces event venues like ours into one of 2 different pathways. Number 2, it has to happen by January 1st of 2026. So the 2 pathways are either obtain an alcohol beverage license from your municipality or be limited to 1 event per month, no more than 6 per year. That second path would be devastating to our family, our business, and many local establishments throughout the local economy. Hopefully, we can leave here after the next couple of meetings with an alcohol beverage retail license. There's 2 options. Number 4 talks about you can get a Class B liquor license or a beer and wine license, which is not restricted by a state quota. Number 5 talks about how alcohol beverage retail licenses are issued by the municipality if you, the council, determine that we have a qualified applicant and if the license would be in the best interest of the municipality. Number 6 talks about the basic qualifications to hold a license. You need to be 21 years of age, a Wisconsin resident for 90 days, a valid seller's permit for a business, pass a background check and a responsible server course, which my wife has done. We met with Brittany to discuss our options, and she mentioned that there's currently 3 Class B liquor licenses available, and we looked and didn't see any issues with our conditional use permit, that there's a provision that allows us at a later date to pursue this alcohol beverage permit. And number 8 through 20, they only apply if no Class B licenses are available. So this new law is going to affect us for better or for worse. In fact, it's already affecting us. Until we have an answer on this liquor license, we cannot book more than 1 event per month for 2026. And most weddings book a year plus out in advance. And we're getting lots of inquiries for next year, and we don't have any answers for them until we can figure out what our future looks like. So that's what we're here for today. We're praying for the ability to continue to move forward with our business, which will now require a liquor license. We're humbly requesting a Class B liquor license so that we can continue our business largely as we were and not have to ask our couples to settle for a beer and wine only wedding when a more complete bar would be desirable for their most special day. That being said, because it's so important to us and to this community that we stay in business, we will graciously accept any retail license that you feel comfortable issuing us. Please know that if you have any questions or would like additional information, drawings, or a property tour for clarification before making a final decision on our future. So if you guys have any questions, any more information or whatever, just let us know. Yeah, we're happy to give you whatever you need to make a confident decision for us. Thank you.
Any other public? Yes, Anita?
Anita Jensen, 1240. I'm Riley's wife. We manage everything together. We're a team. We're a team with all of our businesses. He took care of all the good legislative, all the important stuff in the ruling, and we're just trying to follow the rules of the kind of the corner or the direction we're forced into going as well. But the main thing on where my heart is seeing where we've been able to reach into the community, and Brothers 3 is bringing pizzas. Stephanie from the floral shop is stopping by. Dockside is catering. We've had Peshtigo community. The mayor of Peshtigo does wedding planning, and she's been there multiple times. So we've been able to really get that footing into the door of the community and to be able to benefit. We've had our guests camp at the campground, stay at the hotel, get Airbnbs. So it's doing what we wanted while it's helping us revitalize and rejuvenate that property. We couldn't make that property look like it is without him, his father, and the money that these couples are investing in us and our family. So these couples are very aware of how important it is to our family, and I think the community is starting to understand that as well. We do our best to stay open or available a little bit for any community involvement. If there's any way we can help in the community with a unit or a space, we would be open to it if we're not booked that weekend. But weddings is where we will stay. It's a niche industry. We don't plan to expand upon that or add hours. The weddings work well for our family because we live there. And we've been loving it so far. And we continue to make it better as we go along, but most importantly, provide a better service to our bride and groom, or our couples, we'll say. And with that, the full liquor license is what a lot of the Wisconsin community members love. They love old fashions or summer hummers or those wonderful beverages. But like Riley said, we're okay with the beer and wine, but we would prefer to really utilize and provide the biggest service to our clients. They love coming to O'Connell. They have nothing but positive stuff to say about it when they're here. So the feedback all around fills our hearts, and we're thankful to do what we've already done so far. So I thank you for taking your time to consider us to move forward with our business and not be limited to 6 next year. We have 16 this year. We've had 27 total. 16 to 6 changes a lot. Will we manage? Sure. We'll be fine. But could we excel, exceed, and provide much more to the other businesses in town? Yes. And we'll continue to do that if we can get the liquor license and provide more service to everyone. So thank you again, guys.
Thank you. Any other public input? Any other public input? Okay. If not, we'll move on to correspondence. The bouquet in the back is from Secret Garden. It's to Mayor Cliff Martin and City Council. I want to thank you for all you do to keep our community running smoothly. Your dedication, hard work, and care for O'Connell to not go unnoticed, and we appreciate you so much. Secret Garden Floral Design. So that's to the council. Any other correspondence? Okay. Moving on to number 7, discussion, recommendation, action recommendation on the following old business. None. Moving on to number 8, discussion, action, recommendation on the following new business. Department reports. Chief Dufek, you're up first.
I'm just going to talk a little bit about the highlighted case and about how our department worked well with the sheriff's department and other agencies in trying to find some kids who were taken by their mother. It was a fluid situation that they, I think, handled very well. It was an incident where the kids had been gone for quite a while, and so they used the resources that they had available and called me, and we figured some things out, and it ended up that the kids were found later that morning. So I just wanted to make sure everybody knows how well my officers did, as well as working with the sheriff's department and finding these kids. So it was a good outcome. I'm not going to talk about the numbers. We're going to talk about Falco because I want to give a little bit of an update on him. His first physical therapy appointment is scheduled for Thursday. It was said that he needs to go every week for 6 to 8 weeks. But like many doctors, there's not those spaces open at this point. So his recovery might be a little bit longer, which we have to deal with it. So we don't know yet, we won't know for a while if he's going to be able to go back to be a working dog. We're hoping that we'll find out soon, so that if he can't be a working dog, our fundraiser that is coming up in the beginning of September, we will work hard at in trying to purchase another canine when we are able to do so. But we're not giving up on Falco yet. He is moving around. It's just the physical therapy part will give us more of an idea. The other thing I'm going to go to is just to talk about the liquor license point system. I know there have been questions about it before. I'm going to give you my thoughts. My recommendation is that we do not have a liquor license point system. And the reason that I'm saying that is because the point system is lacking right now as it is. It doesn't cover all of the incidents that could happen at the bar, specifically the severe incidents, like the fights or weapons offenses. So I think getting rid of it it's a case-by-case basis. Not every bar fight, not every bar incident is the same. Just like not every domestic is the same, not every disturbance is the same. So I think we have to get rid of the point system so that we can look at those incidents case by case. And if I decide that there is a recommendation that we should either put the license on probation or revoke it, I will bring it to you guys. And that is, again, only a recommendation from me. You guys make the final decision. I think the point system really constrains our actions that we could take as far as what the bars are doing. My suggestion also is if we have an incident at the bar, or at a bar, and the owner does not cooperate with the investigation, I feel that it should be an automatic probationary license for 6 months minimum. Because that tells me that not only is this going to be a problem now, it's also going to be a problem in the future. And there's no reason why a business owner should not be cooperating with a criminal matter. So that is my recommendation for that. I think taking the point system away puts more decision-making in your hands rather than a point system that could be a gray area because we may not cover some incident that might happen at a bar. Many other places around here do not have a point system. The discretion of what happens is in the council members' hands after a recommendation is made. So just want you to take that into consideration. Whatever you choose, you choose. If you do decide to keep the point system, we need to work on it. We need to add some things to it. If you have any questions for me about it, or if you have a question about an incident that may have occurred, that you heard from somebody out in the street, or you have a concern about it, call me. Ask me questions. Ask me what the facts are. Because there have been some people who said, well, I heard this happen and there was no arrest made and there was a weapon involved. Well, the story that he got was not true. There was more to it. So I'm not going to tell you every bar fight that happens. What happened just this past weekend? There was a weapon involved. But if it continues, I hope that you'll put your trust in me in making the correct, proper recommendation of what should happen to the facility with their license. So if you guys have any questions for me, please let me know or call me. I'm happy to talk about it.
Any questions for Chief Dufek? Lori?
I do. We've been talking kind of about this for a long time, I think, and it's been going on for a while. So I kind of like what she says about the no point system, but I also think perhaps we should draft up something, get this going, and also send a letter to the bar owners with the liquor license saying going forward, we're now taking away the point system or changing it, but I think they need to know that what you're saying, you don't cooperate. There is a no tolerance for this. So I think we have to have this pretty good black and white, instead of people don't show up to these meetings, they don't listen to the meetings, they don't read the minutes. We need something more formal, I think. And if that's what you're looking to draft up, I think that's great to get it moving. We've been going for a year on this.
Yeah,
Year and a half.
Yeah, I think it needs to, something needs to happen, whether the system is kept or if we go away with it.
Correct.
And do what we were talking about.
Because we're getting more incidents every time you talk. There's more incidents at the bars.
Dee?
I would second what Lori is saying. I think we do need to have some type of documentation again. Again, if this is gonna be a personal call, you wanna make sure that we don't have any accusations of bias, and to make sure that if a establishment is being called out for whatever the incident is, that they know what their rebuttal is or what the process is if they need to come in and have questions or concerns, so that they know what the process needs to be, that needs to be included.
Kim, you had a question or a comment?
Yeah, I know we've always had the point system, and I never really agreed with it either, when it's just always how it was. I'd like to go forward and get rid of the point system. I think in general, there's more accountability that way.
Sure.
So for this, do we need something set up like a side committee, an ad hoc committee to help with this, or someone to sit on? I mean, you're gonna have the ultimate power, but other people to speak with her? Or
So
speak
you
with
guys
us?
have the ultimate power of what's going to happen with the license, whether it be probation, revoked, whatever it might be. The only thing I'm going to do is, for example, if one of the bars had, like this past weekend, there was a fight with a knife outside. If I see that there is continuous disturbances that are happening, like several within a month, I'm going to bring that recommendation. I'm not going to just come and say, hey, this has been happening a lot, what do you guys think? I'm going to come with a recommendation saying, this has happened several times with a weapon, because those are gonna be most severe. If there's a weapon involved, that's a no-go. So I'm gonna come to you and say, my recommendation is that you put their license on probationary status for 6 months. And then I can't legally provide you guys with the police reports, but based off of my documentation of what had happened and my recommendation, then you guys would then decide as a group what should happen with that. And whatever you decide is whatever you decide.
So what's the next step then, to get rid of this point system or talk about it or discussion? Do we need to put this on an agenda item, or how do we move forward with this instead of just?
Make a motion to get rid of it, wouldn't we?
I wouldn't start there. Me and Cassie discussed in a department head meeting today that maybe we get together and kind of get some thoughts together on maybe cleaning up the policy, putting some steps in place before, you know, how it gets to you guys, and then how the applicant can respond and stuff. And maybe bring that to you guys, and at least you have a starting point, and then you can make changes if you.
I want the new ordinance before you get rid of the old ordinance.
Right.
So,
Correct.
yeah, we can look at some other communities.
I
I
think
mean, we're not the first one that
Yeah.
have gone away from the point system, so.
We had referenced Green Bay, which I think had a good one that we could, because obviously they have a lot of bars there, and I think we could work off of that.
Okay.
Any other comments or questions for Chief Dufek? Okay. If not, we'll move on to number 2, fire report. You folks have it in front of you. I'm not sure why Josh isn't here, if he got called out today.
He asked me to be excused because he has he was supposed to have a ball game, but I don't think that happened.
As you can see, calls are up from last year. So. Okay, utility report.
I handed out a couple photos that I took last week week. 3 months ago, the utility commission came home, we had a meeting out there. The first one had a treatment plant upgrade on it. All you saw was a hole in the ground with the box. All the new soil was there. Basically, that's the structure of our new building. The far larger one is the wet well, the one where the gentleman's coming out of the hole. That's like where our pumps sit, and the grid removal system will be in that vault area. I just wanted to provide a progress report on things are getting done. It's not just holding down anymore. And then on the backside, we're moving our septic receiving from down at Main Street back to the plant. And that's a septic receiving tank area. So the trucks will drive over that, they can drop their hose and empty pretty quickly compared to the system they have now. And the walls are getting poured for that today. And then Wednesday, on the first photo, the precast floor is going to be getting delivered. So you'll see a lot of semis with big concrete pads that'll get placed on top of that structure. That's basically everything that's going in the ground. Just a reminder, this whole structure is 38 feet in the ground. So it takes a lot of time to get down there, get everything formed up to get poured. And then on the water side, Trevor and Chad so far have been handing out letters, doing door hangers because people have not responded. We have 435 meters to install yet. We have 100 letters that were already taped on that have not been responded to. It's a larger problem than the last time we installed them 20 years ago. We're going to continue through the remainder of the meters until we get everybody a door hanger. Granted, all these homes have already received 2 letters in the mail and no response for any of them. And on this door hanger, the next step, so you're aware, is a disconnect notice. So they'll have 48 hours to respond when that final letter is taped to their door, basically. We never had to go to that 20 years ago, but it's spelled already in the PSC that we can. And the main push is so that we don't have a $7,500 fee for our existing system come January 1st. We have no problem installing them as long as we get into the homes in the time frame of this year remaining. I just want to give you an update on that. Comes out to 17 meters a week. When we had appointments, we were getting 40 to 50 a week, so we're just going to continue with that. Towards when school starts, or right before school starts, whatever's left, I got summer kids that will be taking these letters on. The process right now is that they're home, they allow us in right away, they install. No calls, no wasting anybody else's time. They're there 10 minutes, 15 minutes and done. So, yeah, that's all I got. Any questions?
Questions for Matt? Okay. Moving on to Public Works, Parks, and Rec. You have Jeremy's report. I think things are going really smooth, actually. Thanks to Casey and his crew for cleaning up the beach and the playground equipment. Did the fire department get out there to help you hose down?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. So, okay, moving on to building inspection report.
You got your 3-page report in front of you. First one's obviously for the city of Ocala. Issued 32 permits for the month of June. Put this at $10,000, a little over $10,000 in permit fees, $2.8 million in project value so far. Did receive a couple of permits this morning. That will be going on for July. You guys will be seeing the dental office. We'll be having a big addition put on and stuff like that, which is great to see. I mean, I don't know if they're moving from Green Bay out here or what, if there's just that much of an influx or what's going on, but it's positive for the city of Ocala to see that development like that, in my eyes, at least. The next page would be for the city of Peshtigo. Issued 7 permits, that puts us at 34 for the year. Almost $3,000 in permitting costs, and almost $1 million in project value. Items up there, they're a little tough, but talked to Brittany a little bit here and there. It's culture change up there for them, you know. Very positive from the citizens though. They like the change, they like to see what's going on, and hold the people accountable for their actions, and not just being able to do whatever they want, you know, so, we'll get through it. And then the last one for Howell, she told us 3 to 4 permits for a year, we already had 3. Just saying. That's all I gotta say about that. So, well, things have been pretty busy, lots of stuff going on. Frank and I have been working on the letters, which will go out on Friday for the shipping containers throughout the city. They're sitting on my desk, everything's signed and ready to go. We'll just get them shipped out and see what happens next week with that one. So, any questions for me at all? Yes, Lauren?
When is the due date for the shipping containers within your letter, please? Do you remember?
I put 60 days.
60 days from Friday? Okay, thank you.
Well,
Well, no, hold on.
From
The mail goes down to Milwaukee now.
from when they get it.
From when they get it, okay, so
Yeah.
mailing date.
So it'll be 65 days.
65 days.
Perfect.
And on some of those letters, we'll just don't, it's not only on shipping containers, but if those same properties had some other violations, we included all at the same time. So we're not sending multiple letters.
How many letters are being sent?
No, 8 or 9, something
that's
like
right,
that.
there's some out in the industrial park.
Yeah.
too.
Well, 2 of them I went and checked on that didn't need to be sent out, we talked about. So yeah, I think we're at 9.
Any other questions for Joe? Okay. Moving on to tech tourism report.
I don't have one for you this week. I was not at the meeting due to medical reasons. At the last tourism meeting, I wasn't present, so I will update you next.
Okay.
Next time.
Okay, technology report.
I'll be a verbal again this month. Hopefully my printer will get fixed tomorrow, so I'm crossing my fingers. We did have the committee meeting and we got together, and our primary focus was really talking about where things are at for the DOJ requirements for the server. And when I checked with Cassie recently, I said, you know, do you have an update on that? Because evidently we were waiting for a schematic to come back to give to Camera Corner. Am I understanding that correctly, that there could be a workaround instead of having to do a brand new server? Am I understanding that correctly?
Potentially, yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so have they gotten that information? Because last I heard is that we were waiting for an updated estimate of the work.
The DOJ just sent the image Monday.
Monday, yeah.
Okay. Again, if Camera Corner is dragging their feet on any way, shape, or form, one or the other, they are or they aren't.
They aren't. I mean, this project is a very large project, and they're waiting for a lot of information from the DOJ to make sure we're only designing this one time.
Okay.
We do remind them quite a bit just because we're impatient, but I think they're moving at a completely fine pace because it is, again, a very large project with a very large dollar value if we don't do it correct. So,
One of the 2 other facilities that I need to reach out to, Heartland is going to be giving us an estimate of different things to possibly do the block pricing. They did say that they are very familiar with the, let me find my note here, the CJIS and the DOJ requirements, that they've done this for other municipalities. So again, if we run into an issue, that is something that we potentially could tap into. The other thing that we were looking at that we had talked about is that If we can do the workaround without having to install the completely new server on that, there is concern that down the road, anywhere from 5 to 10 years, that everything is gonna be cloud-based, and so we've been investing money into a server that would be obsolete because we would not need the firewall anymore. So something maybe to be considered about, so.
Yeah.
Other than that, we'll continue with getting some estimates on stuff, and hopefully we can move forward with getting some block pricing and save some money next year.
Awesome. Any questions for Dee? Okay. Moving to library.
Hi, everybody. Couple highlights from the report. We're starting bingo size next week. That's a cooperative effort with the O'Connell County Extension. I just wanted to talk about that. That's kind of the things that we're looking for. They're basically using our building to do a program, so we're trying to find more things like that where somebody else kind of brings the knowledge and the thing, and we just really host them at the facility. It still brings people into the building, but we don't have to have staff dedicated or staff allotted to that, so it kind of takes a little pressure off of that. That's kind of what we've been doing with the art therapy class all summer, but this one's a little, I guess they play bingo and do chair exercises. I thought jazzercise, it's not that, it's bingo size. So we're doing that. The other group that we're working with is the Einstein Project out of Green Bay. That'll be more for the kids. They bring everything basically that you throw in the recycling, and they teach the kids how to build things out of it. So if you throw pieces of cardboard, we have to explain to them what film containers are, because they make good wheels and they make good steering wheels. All that kind of stuff that you would throw out. They bring a bunch of glue guns. So we have them booked to come up August 1st. They're going to be out at the Holtwood Sports Complex after the comedy and magician show up there. They're going to be here for National Night Out. So another thing for the kids to do, and then they're just going to be over at the library for one day. So that's all funded by big corporations, mainly based in Green Bay, but it provides us, again, somebody with the knowledge, somebody without the tools. They don't have to dedicate staff time to it. The other big thing is last week that the library celebrated its 122 years. It's always been a library. We get that question a lot. It's not a Carnegie library. It's the only Farnsworth library. We have a whole binder of the history of the building, including a 6-page speech that George Farnsworth gave on that day, on a nice hot June day, I'm sure. The other thing is that we're going to be talking about budgets pretty soon. The library is very fortunate that we have a really nice Friends of the Library group. They provide all the funding for if the kids do a craft, all of our things that are kind of the extra things out of the budget. So if you go to their book sale, buy candy bars at the library, all that money comes right back in the form of books for the vending machine. But the big one is programming. So to get, the comedians and magicians, and we're having an author visit in October. Those are hundreds of dollars events that we couldn't do without the Friends of the Library. That's it. We were out at Martin Fest. It was a nice event if we were able to get out there and enjoy City Park. Brought a lot of people from outside the area. So that was a very nice event out there. So we were out there talking to people about the library. And we explained that it wasn't at the Cliff Martin Fest. That was another just a happy coincidence. and why if it was in O'Connell for 15 years, had they never heard of it? I'm like, it's not been in O'Connell for 15 years. So a lot of clarification.
Thank you, Amy.
Thanks, Amy.
Okay. Airport.
I'll leave or have a report on your desk there for next week. Again, this month, the second Monday is after the second Tuesday, so we haven't had our meeting until next Monday.
Okay. Administrator report.
I'll also have mine for next week for you guys.
Okay. Moving on to 8B. Approval of alcohol beverage license application from O'Connell Riviera LLC located at 1240 McDonald Street, and appointment of agent of Anita Jensen.
I just want to say, I did hand out what their conditional use permit looks like. They actually have two separate ones. I stapled them together, but there's two separate ones. One is for the outdoor venue and outdoor wedding and special event venue, and then one is for the event barn venue. So you can see that a lot of things the Plan Commission did touch on, setting the dates and hours and music and different things like that, to because I know Anita touched on that in her presentation. You can also see they did touch on alcohol because we did know that this might be something they wanted to pursue in the future. So you can see that in there.
Any comments, questions? Dan?
I just, looking at this, the biggest one is, does it comply with all the state statutes and the city ordinances for the liquor license? You know?
Health and sanitation certifications would be a question.
But for like any bar, we don't control that, the state controls that. We don't, everyone else who applies for a Class B liquor license, we don't go out there and check their sinks. The state does that for us, so.
I think the other consideration, which Anita touched on, we keep talking about tourism and heads and beds to get more money into our tourism account. They're doing it. So I think, in my opinion, I think it's a good thing to do. I just concerned, does their conditional use permit, I mean, do we have to change the conditional use permit as I read through this? Because on the one it says, which one is it? This one, it says that the sale of any and all alcohol beverages at wedding special events shall be prohibited
Keep reading.
until which time such licensing complies with state statute and local ordinance. So when I look at this, in my mind it says they're compliant. Am I way off on that or not? I want to make sure. But again, I think it's a good thing for the community, for them to have more events, which is going to bring more people into the city, which will benefit all the other businesses, downtown included. So that's my statement on this. Ron?
But you're talking about two different things. You're talking about a full alcohol license compared to a conditional use permit. It's two different stories.
That's what this license is for. They submitted the license at this meeting, if you look in your packet.
Right?
That's what this application is for.
Right.
This is for the liquor license.
I understand.
Okay, I guess I'm not understanding your question.
They want a full liquor license. That means that they would have to apply with all the stuff with the state. Am I right?
No.
Yes, they would.
Apply for what with the state?
They would have to pass the state regulations.
Oh, of course, yes, like every bar, yes, yes.
Okay, and that would be, bathrooms and all this
Yes,
stuff.
but that's not controlled by you guys, that's controlled by the state, like every other bar.
Right, hold on, Riley had his hand up. I'm going to allow him.
Number 6 on that sheet that I gave you says the qualifications to hold a license from the state are 21 years old, Wisconsin resident for 90 days, valid seller's permit, background check, and responsible server course. Those are the only requirements from the state to hold a alcohol license.
And they have all of those.
But on the contrary, they come to your place and they go through
There's
it
inspection, yeah.
for an
They'll actually
inspection.
inspect the site.
But that's not a qualification to be approved for a license.
Kim first.
So I was just gonna say, it's like any other venue. You have to get a license from the state, you have to, do all that. They've done all that, they have people coming, that's all been inspected, I'm sure. So the only thing coming today is for the liquor license, which I'm 100% for. I'd certainly like to see that go through.
Lori, you had yours.
I would like it to go through, however, we also have to look at what we've been going with on these liquor license. One is we just revoked Mookie's for not being open more than 90 days. What about in the winter time when there's not weddings? So we already set that precedence with Mookie's. Another one that we also have to look at is when we denied the yacht club. We denied the yacht clubs because that was not a public event where they allowed just normal, private citizens coming in to have alcohol at their event. This would be an event, a wedding, but they're still not allowing people outside of that wedding coming in to have alcohol. So we do have to look at all different things and make sure we are across the board making these decisions, not based on you guys because we like you and we want you to have it. We have to base it on what we have decided across the board with the other bars and other establishments.
Dee?
I don't think the yacht club comparison is really equating to this. That was a private membership club that you chose to pay a fee to be a member of. This is a wedding event that you're coming as a guest. It's two completely different things.
You could
in
go
my-
into the yacht club with a boat and use their facilities even if you weren't a member of them.
I thought you had to pay membership for it.
Not at all.
No?
I thought that was a requirement as well.
No,
Yeah.
and you can go with friends, you can go with anyone. If I have a membership, I can bring my whole
Oh.
family, I can bring a whole
But-
event group there
but-
and rent it out and use it for everyone.
But
Someone had to be a member.
someone had to be a member.
And they are a private club.
Right.
Okay.
And I would
Yes.
say, I think that's an excellent statement, Lori, because you're right, it is important to be fair. But I would say that it's not really equivalent to Mookie's either, because they're closing. They're not closing. They're just temporarily shut down for the winter season. They're not closed. There is a difference there, in my opinion, but
In our ordinance, though, it says 90 days, right?
I don't believe it says we have to revoke it in 90 days. We just have the option to, which when we took then we needed it. We were at capacity. So it gave us that option to take it for open businesses.
And right now, we have 3 open licenses also.
Yes.
Any other questions, comments? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, Frank?
So what I'm gonna bring up is, I looked at R2 residential district, you're in R2 now. We did that years ago. If you look under conditional uses in an R2, 8 and 9 are the 2 that we added back. It was event, wedding barns, and 9 is outdoor special event venue. Number 7 is taverns. My position, and then I can't give you any different position than what I've taken the same position in terms of what we've been dealing with for 3 years with the yard. And that the yard is a bar tavern. Their tiki bar there, and that they never came in and got a conditional use permit as a tavern under recreational. I believe that in this situation, it needs a conditional use permit as a tavern if you're going to do a liquor license, like any other tavern. I just don't feel that the 8 and 9 conditional use permit covers a tavern situation. If you went with the beer and the wine, I don't have a problem with that. I think that's a lot less requirements under the state. We do beer licenses for the Elks or Sportsman's Club or these day events, without having bathroom facilities and all of those other things. So, but I can't take a different position in what we've been in court with the yard in saying it's needed and not needed here.
Casey?
Well, I don't know if you can equate it to a tavern, because you can't go to their house on Wednesday and get a drink.
You can.
You know, no one's knocking on their door,
They-
and ordering an old fashioned on Tuesday. It is for weddings. So I
I'll
don't know if
let
that's-
Brittany go first, and then I'll come to you.
In my opinion, I don't think, when we set this up, we set it up for this. The Plan Commission approved this knowing that they were going to have alcohol. I guess that's kind of saying you need 3 conditional uses. You have to pay $375 to operate your business. That's crazy to me. And we set up the beer garden. We tried to allow them to sell liquor, sell beer by adding beer garden as one of the conditional uses. We tried to set it up that way for them. That's the same as this. We're setting this up to allow you to do this under this conditional use, in my opinion.
Riley?
Thank you, Brittany, and that's why we put in alcohol under the alcohol section, number 9, the conditional use permit, that it says until time of licensure. With that in mind, Frank, I totally understand what you're saying, and I thought about that myself as well, but the way I saw it was, we don't want to be a tavern, we don't want to pursue the conditional use permit as a tavern because we have no interest in being open 7 days a week, we have no interest in being open past 10 p.m. And because we're allowed to be a wedding venue with the alcohol permit, we thought it would actually be helpful that we don't have a tavern permit, because that what would allow us to be open more, which again, we don't want. We don't want to be open past 10, we don't want any of that stuff. And we feel that a liquor license as a wedding venue, we would have to still comply with our wedding venue policy. And if we didn't get the tavern, then that would close the door on us being able to do tavern-like sort of things. So at the end of the day, we do want to be able to continue business. So I appreciate all the different perspectives. At the end of the day, it is up to you guys. So.
They actually can't be open past 10 according to their conditional use permit. So.
Anybody else?
Again, the only thing I would say is, when you have a liquor permit, okay, there's nothing in here that says it's just for your wedding events. It can be any day of the week you want.
Which we would need.
The what?
We wouldn't have a tavern conditional use permit though.
But once you have a liquor license, you can turn the whole barn into a bar if you want.
But they're not allowed.
So,
And technically, we can't because we're in the conditional use plan set as a bar, the barn and wedding venue. So we would be going against the rules that we set for ourselves if we opened at different hours, different days. And we're not planning on breaking rules. So within the conditional use will hold us on that tighter stipulation than what other people carrying a liquor license. And that's why we went through that 2.5-hour meeting to break it all down to make sure the future of the venue was gonna be taken care of. Now, when we had that meeting, this was not moving forward. This fell in our lap 10 months later. So we're doing our best to comply with the state changes. And within that, we can stay with our conditional use plan and still obtain a liquor license through this Wisconsin Act 73.
But it is up to you guys.
so, go.
But, okay, so just to differentiate from what Kim, you asked, you have not built this and you do not have a state review of it yet. What you're gonna use to be a bar area, correct?
To like lock up your booze, I'm assuming.
Have you had the state there like any other bar? If somebody opened a bar, they have to have the state come in and review it.
Right. They come when the permit's issued, like every other tavern.
So, tonight,
That's
if,
not correct. You don't have to have a liquor license for the state to come and review your building? The building inspector or?
It's outdoor.
I know, but you still have to have certain requirements. A triple sink, hot water.
And they will, or the state will shut them down.
So yeah, I just don't want to put the cart, we've heard the phrase, put the cart before the horse. I'm not trying to block you. I just want to do this in the right steps. Because we've done that before. The cart before the horse. So again, just so we're all on the same page.
We're completely at your mercy. We just want to move. We need to move forward, and we can't afford a month or 2 months. We know this all that takes months, and these people are trying to book weddings now, and they're going to go book somewhere else right away. If this is a delay, that's why we came to you now.
so,
What if we did the beer?
But I have a question on that, because this was passed in 2023, so I know that the due date, effective date is January 1st of 26, but why is it now just coming to us, telling us to rush?
Being on council up until April, there was a pretty obvious potential conflict there. So I wanted to wait until after that was done. And then, obviously, we've got, our clientele to be concerned with. We've told people in the past, our situation and our people moving forward that the alcohol was subject to change, but the people now trying to book, they need an answer, and they don't wait for, a few weeks, 3 weeks, a month or two. If we say, hey, we won't have an answer for you for a couple of months, they're gone. And we've had years where, with the lawsuit and the struggles to get here, where we've had years where we booked less weddings than the year before because of the doubt that gets cast upon, just by the nature of people booking these events so far out in advance. We're running out of time, and it's going to start affecting, it already has started affecting 2026 bookings, and we'd like them to be higher than they were in 2025.
So, question.
Daryl,
Daryl, go ahead.
How does the zoning fall into play here? Would it be simpler for them to get that rezoned or not?
No.
We rezoned them for this.
So can we, with this conditional use permit, could we approve this tonight with the hopes that the planning commission would change certain verbiage in here?
What would they need to change?
I don't know, I'm asking the question. I'm just asking the question.
What do you
I think that
needs
the
to be
paragraph
changed?
on alcohol needs to be changed.
To what?
That allows them to take out prohibited for one thing.
It's prohibited until they have licensing to allow it. That's pretty
again,
clear.
I guess
to
I
me.
have a different recollection of back then.
It's
When
recorded, we
went-
can listen.
I know, but we said we weren't going to do the liquor permit until you had inside bathrooms and that type of thing.
No.
That's my understanding.
That's why we included it on both conditional uses.
Well, it says until which time such licensing complies with state statute and local ordinance.
And that's this. That's this license that they're applying for.
Right. So,
State statute says you have to have a health and sanitation inspection.
Which they will. Like every other bar and tavern, we don't ask for that when we approve their license.
That's fine. Are we going to use the license before that happens or not?
It's not our decision.
D?
I guess I just want clarification on the conditional uses that are already set up. You're in compliance with everything, correct? There's been no
Yeah.
issues, no concerns with this? So this is, again, just moving forward with the information on here, like Brittany said, moving forward when you get to the point where you're asking to have this done. So I guess I'm not understanding what the issue is.
Casey, you had your armor?
Well, I kind of agree with Brittany, what's between them and the state is between them and the state. You know, we don't ask this of other, at least I don't believe we've asked this condition to be met on other liquor license. You apply, you get it, and what's between them and the state is between them and the state. You know, if they get shut down, we take away the license, thanks for playing.
Okay, any other discussion? Could I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
To approve the
I'll make
liquor?
a motion to approve the liquor license for the Riviera.
Okay,
I'll second.
D second. Roll call?
Daryl Anderson,
Aye.
Kim Bronikowski,
Aye.
Ron Dahl,
no,
Dee Donlevy,
Aye.
Bob LeBrecq is excused, sorry. Casey Stoll,
Aye.
Lori Stenstrup,
No.
Dan Zeller,
Tough one here. Aye.
Okay. The motion carried to approve alcohol beverage license application from O'Connell Riviera LLC located at 1240 McDonald Street and appointment of agent of Anita Jensen.
That was the vote.
Yep.
Is there any additional information we can give you guys for next week to give you more peace of mind, or is there, what can we do to help?
Okay. Could I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
Who was second? Ron? Casey?
Right. Casey. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried to adjourn. Thank you, everybody.